Shortly after the calamity washed this land clean, and Zahir, the cloaked serpent god, was banished long away, one of his greatest creations was left to rule this ocean. The indigenous people of this series of islands, the Swain Islands, called the Kinau, were granted the blessing of Ukatoa. And nothing.
How can you be certain that you're the only chosen one of Ukatoa?
Bless you.
Ukatoa.
Ukatoa. Let's all do that together.
Her smile just grows wider. So Ukatoa has spoken to you as well. So perhaps it was not just...
If I may, I'm sorry, Captain Tusktooth, if I may. When we find this Ukatoa, and you have this thing inside of you.
Long-sealed god grew jealous that they are the ones who put Ukatoa away below the ocean. If I'm correct.
To have been, from her words, the chosen of Ukatoa, an ancient entity referred to as the Leviathan, serpentine entity known as Ukatoa. You remember? Good job. So Ukatoa, once a creation of Zahir, the cloaked serpent god, now banished since the calamity.
You know, she had on that decorated around her office. I mean, that's Ukatoa of the...
Ukatoa.
You don't know if they've been sealed in the same fate that Ukatoa was, but based on what you saw in that temple, they seem to be connected. Or he was the one that opened my eyes to the destiny of Ukatoa. We traveled together for a number of years. But hell, rolled in with this strange Ukatoa phenomenon. And Ukatoa would be proud. So tonight we drink. Come, let us be off to the bloated cup. The rounds are on me.
Bloated cup.
The bloated cup.
Marius comes around. Would you like to do?
Shoot her in the back of the head.
Just push her off the cliff right now.
Ukatoa.
Yeah, so the group is us plus Avantika and...
Her crew?
But you start noticing members of the crew and why they are with her, or at least when they've been there, they've also bought into these tales of Ukatoa. And you get the sense that they believe, you get the sense in that moment that this is not a rare occurrence around here.
Flare up.
Yeah.
It's like someone ordered a special, extremely expensive tiki bar.
Yeah.
I would like to...
Wow, where the fuck did you guys just go? I want to go there after the show.
Entity that she was fanatically obsessed with, this Ukatoa, which was revealed to be the patron to Ford's abilities. After retrieving one of these sought-after orbs.
And worshipping an outer worldly being called Ukatoa, left over from the betrayer gods.
And he kind of glances through the paperwork, looks at you, gives him a sly grin and goes,
Are we sure that Avantika was the only one who was interested in what Ukatoa has to offer?
Well, there is still Vendron. I have read...
That started Ford's destiny in the direction of Ukatoa. After days of travel.
Could be.
Is Ukatoa here?
No. Well,
Sort of.
Information, proof that she had plans to overthrow the Plank King and rule the seas, along with her fanatical obsession with Ukatoa. I knew it was coming. You managed to another sphere of Ukatoa. You had every time.
Ukatoa?
And upon making your way, upon making your way to the
Are you going to try to, what are you going to do to Ukatoa? Ukatoa.
Did you self-echo?
I'm just checking if you think that this could unleash Ukatoa.
Nope. She put hers in the first temple.
Maybe Ukatoa was like, I should make 4, 1 extra, just in caseies. Oh yeah. And just if Ukatoa decides to show up.
He won't.
and managing to release one of the gathered orbs of Ukatoa's ceiling. You made your way to the depths of the diver's grave and recovered the third of these orbs that you've come across, 2 of which now reside within Ford's person. You then proceeded on towards what you believed to be the location of one of these temples through a series of visions you've had by Ukatoa. I knew it was coming.
Hey, Traveler, have you heard anything about this weirdo Ukatoa guy? He has heard about as much as we have. Yeah. What if the chamber closes and you're stuck down here for?
I don't think it will, and only because if Ukatoa really wants me to do all of this for him, what good would trapping me down here do?
What exactly happened down there, by the way?
Did you release it or what?
No, I did have another vision, but it seemed like Ukatoa was straining against whatever confines it was in. It might be good to ask anyone if they know anything about Ukatoa, or if there are like offsetting deities or gods or...
So, last we left off, the Mighty Nine, after finishing their journey to the secondary temple of Ukatoa's ceiling, managed to deliver the second of the collected orbs.
An emergency for a man that's not threatened by the things that you're threatened by.
Ukatoa?
Seems to be a lot of weird things happening.
No one, a lesser god that likes to go by the name of Ukatoa might have some sway in.
You think this Ukatoa is connected to this war in the east?
We have reason to believe that maybe some Jorhassian spies and soldiers might be worshippers of Ukatoa.
There are a lot of strange things all happening.
Of a potential location for where Ukatoa is captured.
Mm-hmm.
A jungle landscape somewhere on the continent. You wouldn't happen to have any ideas, would you?
Well, to be honest, there are many of jungle landscapes on this coast. I have not heard anything of Ukatoa's location, nor is it of any particular interest to me. It's a low DC.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, I could do it.
Thank you.
Ukatoa. What was it? Acrobatics?
Calling out his name for good luck, huh? I got you.
22.
Yeah, you're.
Everyone had a beer but me, so I jumped in, and now yours is gone.
I had to break the chain. Otherwise, there's too many beards, and it's free and allowed to.
That real ultimate power.
Creature that's
We
beneath
coulda
the
had
table.
Ukatoa.
Ukatoa needs beards to survive.
The shaded tendrils of Ukatoa begin to close in around you, binding you in the cocoon of cold, scaled flesh.
I don't feel like my favor with Ukatoa's as choice as it once was.
You returned the beacon to the Kreen. Okay.
So are they super powerful now? And they're gonna, oh god.
Destroy the Empire.
Let's just go back to the third temple and get Ukatoa out here while we're at it. I mean, fucking, what do we gotta lose?
Oh my gosh, what if he's like best friends with your deity thingy?
Or in conflict with them.
We get like a business partner, right? This could be like.
How did you get that?
I took it.
Ukatoa.
So that works.
If you're going to be sending out like a wire or anything, if you also wanted to do a little research on the name Ukatoa, I mean, some of us would want to, you know.
All right, Ukatoa.
Find out anything could be great.
Also,
Do you feel scared when you think of Ukatoa?
I try not to think of Ukatoa.
I mean, that's where your magical powers came from, yeah?
Yeah.
Maybe if you know, don't follow Ukatoa, you could follow the Traveler or someone else who could give you powers. It will do anything to get you away from Ukatoa, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Thank you for talking to me, Ford.
His falchion and supplies, but he decided to mess with Ukatoa and consume too many eyes.
a dark entity known as Ukatoa, in which you had fallen into a pact with long ago. That's awesome.
You're gonna drive him back to Ukatoa!
Ukatoa.
Travis just wrote Barry Sam. I don't.
I should have asked if Ukatoa is finished with me or not.
Oh, I can answer that. Well, there's no menu. You may.
Ukatoa was not in that book.
It's a very big world.
Yep. They were the ones that
right.
they were the ones that were shipping the relics, including the first orb of Ukatoa that you found.
That's
that
right.
was set in
Oh,
the.
we really should have taken their other stuff.
Anyone else wish to do anything?
Surprise, motherfucker.
Oh, wait, what do you mean?
Like Ukatoa.
Anything else for the evening?
Ukatoa in disguise.
Before that's
yes.
down?
Could be.
I'm going to.
If you happen to hear any reports of giant snake-like monsters covered in eyes, just be sure to let us know. Being set free on the seas.
What?
Yeah, just, in the back of your head. Sleep well.
She tore you from the caustic grasp of Ukatoa and had taken your sins.
When your god asks you to go somewhere and do something
just do
for
it.
them, you just do it.
As long as they're not a giant sea snake that's asking you to. Ukatoa.
I mean, we don't even know if it was a sneeze snake, all right? It was just...
What's a sneeze snake?
Snake 2020.
Consumed by some other scary being like Ukatoa. Are you not remotely humbled or?
You're Ford, right?
That was it for Ukatoa. Sorry, drop my staff again.
You gotta stop doing that. It's getting tinier and tinier each time. We did see a purple sort of fire bird down in that temple of Ukatoa.
But the people that worshipped this.
That when you were seeing that vision of Ukatoa, and he showed you something in the mountains or something? Like
Yeah, I mean, if you really want to get crazy, if Ukatoa had 3 temples, then I'm sure the other 2 entities might also have.
3 temples.
Right.
Like real big feather.
I'll get you something
They do
common.
say the bigger the feather.
The closer to Ukatoa. Makes no sense, really, when you think about it.
Right, so I would want no feather.
I don't know.
Okay.
It's a priest of Ukatoa or something. Ukatoa.
As you lie there, the blade, a handful of other creatures that are nearing the top of it.
oh fuck. They're Ukatoa people!
They all look humanoid, but they have fish-like fins on their forearms.
How many people did Ukatoa?
And that's their turn. That brings us to Caduceus and Veth. Finishing Caleb's turn. It's now this guy's turn. The stun wears off.
Ukatoa guard.
At the end of his turn, but by what was immediately obvious to be agents of Ukatoa, seeking the still hanging elements of his unveiling and freedom. A battle took place where these various deep sea creatures, these mutated and altered entities here under the will of Uk'otoa, stormed the ship, crawling through its many decks to assault you.
Presumptuous of us to try to understand the hierarchy of Uk'otoa's minions.
We had falchions. We had opened the key to one of the locks of Uk'otoa with
How
the
did you
sword.
get it open? Did you pull it out?
There were 2 eyes in the.
You had wet dreams for months about trying
Not
to
quite as that makes it sound.
get Uk'otoa free. We know very clearly what Uk'otoa's mission is, and I'm assuming
It's bad that, like, maybe it's like Beetlejuice. If you say his name 3 times in a row, it's really bad. Then they'll show up on the boat.
What is Beetlejuice?
The ship. You know. Like Candyman.
Is that a drink? Like,
It's not helpful. I don't know what candy.
yeah, like the Blair Witch.
What is the Blair Witch?
Yeah, or Uk'otoa comes up and, like, tentacles around the whole ship and, like, cracks it in half and then brings it down into the ocean.
I mean,
You were released.
yeah.
Uk'otoa's gonna get what he wants, whether you help him or not.
Well,
These dudes are, like, coming after him for it. They're like, we really want to let Uk'otoa out.
No.
And...
So maybe...
Oh, man, Uk'otoa is so pissed at you.
I have a feeling Uk'otoa is not the sentimental type.
Just looking at you.
Who gave you your mission to find the orb?
Oh, God. I had to finally do it back to you guys.
I would ask, was she a willing follower? And the other one would be, does she know how she came to take that previous shape?
Were you a willing follower of Uk'otoa? I'm gonna prop the head up in my hand.
Tongue kind of like lolls out a bit.
Where do the disciples of Uk'otoa congregate?
Wherever there's water.
Uk'otoa demands honesty. How long have you been a follower of Uk'otoa?
Not long enough.
This guy sucks. This guy sucks.
The worst. What happens if Uk'otoa can't retrieve the orb?
You'll find out.
Has Uk'otoa been released?
Hey,
If I were a follower of Uk'otoa, why would I tell you anything?
Because you could lie to them and say it worked.
Ask him anything else.
I mean, you got one more question. You might as well. Oh, you pooping?
What does Uk'otoa fear the most? Maybe that's wouldn't really worry about me so much.
Maybe.
No.
they'd come and get it, and then Uk'otoa would be released, and then we'd all have to
I
fight the
get the
giants.
distinct impression that, that Uk'otoa really wants to find you too.
Okay. Good.
Betrayer's not a nickname you
We
give
just
to...
need to be prepared to have a fight every single night before we go to sleep.
Been around the water a lot.
Yeah, but not since, you know.
This console is crazy. It keeps saying forward.
Mine says consume.
Gotta catch them all.
Lord.
Or just putting seashells into his chest.